Hey guys, what's up? It's Patrick with patrickstechcorner.com, and today I'm going to show you how to install DHCP on Windows Server 2012. So to begin, you're going to need to go to your server manager, which is this little button at the bottom here. That'll open up the screen. And then you wanted to go to, once it obviously loads everything, you want to go to manage, and then add roles or features. And then from here, you want to click role-based or feature-based installation, which means that you're configuring the services on this server and not one somewhere else or somewhere else in your data center. Click next, and then it's saying you're going to install from to this server pool, which is the computer that you're on. If this, like for me, it is because this one's highlighted, and it'll tell you your IP address. So then click next. And then you want to find DHCP server, which is right here, and it's going to tell you that you need to add these roles. So you obviously need to click add features, and then this is saying that I don't have a static IP address on this computer, but that's just because I'm not actually using this as a server. This is just for demonstration purposes. I'm going to click continue and click next. I'm going to click next again because I don't need this. Next. And if it required a restart, you could click restart, but it doesn't, so I can click install. Now, one thing is that if you are going to actually be using this as your DHCP server, you definitely would want to have a static IP address. To do that, you'd want to right click down here and do Open Network and Sharing Center. And when this opens, it'll, well, you'll see. You'll see that this is your connection that you're using. So I'm using Ethernet, so I want to click on that and click Properties. Then if you are using IPv4, which I am, you want to double click that and set an IP address in DNS servers. And then that would, if you click OK and OK, that will create a static IP address on your computer. I also recommend, if you're not using IPv6, to go in and uncheck IPv6. Just because it'll say that you don't have a static IP address for it, and it'll cause issues. So now that DHCP is fully installed, you just want to hit close here, and you will notice that DHCP appeared on your roles and server groups. So to manage this, you can just click on this little DHCP, and it's saying that this is a server that you have and that there's configuration required for it. So if you were to right click on this and say DHCP manager, DHCP would pop up, and you'd want to create a scope. And a scope is a range of IP addresses that you want to assign to the outside computers. So that's pretty much the main purpose of your DHCP server, is when someone's asking for an IP address, you give them an IP address. So in order to create a new scope, you click on your IPv4, and it's going to say you need to add a scope. So then you would want to go to Action, New Scope, click Next, and then you give your scope a name. For mine, I'm just going to say Demo. So once you get to this screen here, what you'll want to do is put your starting IP address, for example 10.0.0.10, and your ending IP address, which I'll just put 10.0.0.15. Whoops. And my subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and you want to keep that if you want only this number to change. Go ahead and hit next, and it's going to say if you want to exclude a certain amount of IP addresses inside of your scope, you have the ability to do that, but I don't need to do that, so I'm not going to do that. And now this is saying, how long do you want to give this IP address to someone? It can be minutes, hours, or even days. I recommend always going with a short lease time, because if someone is on your network and you want them off, you can just give them 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes it'll renew. That's not as realistic, but if say this is for like wireless, you'd probably put like 8 hours, something like that, along those lines. At my house, I have it set to 3 hours, just because sometimes during the day people aren't here, so their device does not need an IP address for that long, so they don't need to be taking up my IP addresses when they're not here. And then you want to hit next, and it'll say you need to configure your DNS servers Win settings. So what you'll want to do is configure those now. So you'll go ahead and add a router used by clients. That would be your pretty much your main router. So that mine is 10.0.0.1. So I will go ahead and click add to that. Next. Now it's saying your domain. So if you have a domain in Active Directory, it's going to ask for your parent domain. And then it'll say DNS servers. It already found it because mine's leased through DHCP, which is what you'd set this up for. So you would go ahead and add your DNS servers as they appear. I actually have one more. Then you would just click add, and it would validate it, see if DNS is running on it. It does take time. So once you've finished doing your DNS servers and you click next, this will come up saying if you want to use Win servers to convert NetBIOS computer names to IP addresses, you can go ahead and add those. I'm not going to do that because I don't use Wins. And it'll say, do you want to activate the scope? If you click yes, it will go ahead and turn on your DHCP service, but I'm not going to because I already have a DHCP server. So as you can see now, if you were to double click scope and then address leases, all your clients would show up here that have an IP address. It'll say when they expire, and it'll also tell you their MAC address. So if you want to create a reservation for a certain MAC address, you can go ahead and do so, which means that person always gets a certain IP address. So you aren't giving them a different IP address all the time. Like in your life, you might use this for maybe printers, or I use them. My printers have reservations because static IP addresses are just obnoxious sometimes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Check back for more videos like this later. I will definitely be doing more. So I hope you liked this, and give me the thumbs up and comment below. Thank you. Bye.